Hey guys, this is Shoreful. Welcome to Coding Box Automation Lab. Today, I'm going to talk a very important topics. It's been a few days, or recently, I'm getting a lot of calls from different people, and they were asking me same type of question. The question is how to become a test automation engineer, or am I qualified to be a test automation engineer? So I feel like it's it's better to create one video so that I can share with all my students or the people who are asking about it and want to know it. They can understand it's exactly the requisite or the things you need to do to be a test automation engineer. Whether you are fresh graduate or you are a manual tester, want to move your career, upgrade your career from manual test to automation tester, or you would like to change your career from different background to a automation tester, all the 5 things, this is the 5 steps that you have to follow, and if you can do it, it's not a problem. And first things, it's not a rocket science. Yes, you can be a test automation engineer, whether you are fresh graduate, you are changing your career from a different background to a test background, or you are upgrading your skill from manual to automatic. First, simple few things, 5 steps. Learn manual testing. I will explain each and every steps in details. Second is learn one programming language. Third is learn automation tool, one of the automation tool, and learn. Fourth is Git repository or GitHub. Learn CI or CD tools like Jenkins. Okay, let's go and have a little bit details about each and every topics. First, learn manual testing. Whether you come from different background, you are a fresh graduate, to be an automation tester or to be a tester, you have to know manual testing very well. So you should have very strong knowledge about manual testing. There will be no compromising about knowing the manual testing. When I talk about the manual testing, to know, it means you have to know different testing definition, you have to know testing technique, you have to know some positive happy path or negative testing, you have to know testing from a user point of view, like as a user, what do you feel when you visit a site, you have to know those kind of your point of view have to be very clear. You have to know the basic difference between waterfall and agile methodologies. And following agile methodologies, it's all of the activities or all of the steps involved with the agile and scrum process. You have to know some testing activities like test plan, writing a test plan, test cases, test execution, bug file, test report, and so on. So when I talk about testing definition, what do you mean by testing definition? Let's see some of the example. If you go to our site codingboxautomationlab.com, and then if you come to select category and select manual testing, you'll see there is some block. It's very easy, straightforward English language written some block about manual testing information. Say example, manual testing definition. So if you go to this page, you will see it started with the software development life cycle. This is each and every software or project they follow. All the industry, they follow this 5-6 steps. And then what is test cases? What do you mean? As I said, positive test cases or negative test cases. Example, if you say let's go to login page. Example, you are doing a security testing or login testing, so what kind of test case it could be, or what kind of test scenarios you could have. As I said, one would be happy path, which is the positive, like valid username and password, and click on login button. It will let you log into your account, it will land you to the home page. That's a happy path. And now it's a negative test case is very important. So you have to think out of the box, like what kind of scenario can have as your negative test cases. Like what will happen if you both username and password as blank? What will happen if you have a valid username and invalid password? What will happen if you have a valid password but invalid username? What will happen if you have both username and password are invalid? So those are the negative test cases. You have to think a little bit outside of the box so that it covers all unusual scenarios, because you never know, different kind of user they will use, or they will find different kind of issues in your application. So to remove all kinds of breakdown point, all those things, so you have to think out of the box to cover all of your negative scenarios. Okay, so that's about the positive and negative testing. What is test technique? If you go to our blog again, and you can see, let's go to the previous page. There is a test design technique. Read this blog. It's a very easy language. It's explaining you what type of test technique can have, like static technique, some black box techniques, all those things, dynamic test techniques, so all those things, you have to know. Those are the part of your basic knowledge for your testing methodologies. Okay, and then what you have to know the difference between waterfall and agile methodology. Nowadays, the company across the industry, most of the company, they are following agile methodologies. Waterfall is kind of old, very expensive methodologies. Usually big company used to do it, but now most of the company, even big company, they are following agile methodology. So you have to know very detailed. So what's the agile methodologies? What's the all of the steps involved with the agile and scrum process? All of the different individual people involved with the scrum team, like the product owner or scrum master or the dev, developer, QA. What's their rules? How the process move on. All those things you have to know very well. I have a YouTube video to cover those agile process. Either you can search on YouTube like agile methodology in software development lifecycle part 1, or I will share this link in the description below. You can go through all these three tutorial or video. Part 1, part 2, part 3 will cover everything. It's good enough to give you in details about the agile methodologies, how the agile methodologies are all of the process involved with this. Using one of the famous tools like Jira, and then managing and maintaining this agile process, like how we can do your testing activities using Jira tools, in terms of agile methodologies. So go through this 3 video. I know it's a little bit long, each and every video almost an hour. The last one is it's a 37 minutes, but it's a very helpful video. It will clear your idea about agile methodologies, as well as it will help you to learn about the Jira tools. Okay, so let's move to the next one. What's the next one? Learning programming language. This is, there is no skip on this. You have to learn one of the language. It could be Java, Python, Java, C#, Ruby, any one of them. Just pick one of them, which one you feel good. In terms of market, I can tell personally I prefer Java, because it's been a last 15-20 years. Java is very stable language, and it has lots of benefits, like an online resource that you can find a solution when you're stuck any issue. Regardless of Java, there is a Python nowadays. You will see, you will hear a lot about Pythons. Even though Python born before Java, a lot of people, they don't know. They thought, okay, Java is old language, but Python probably is a recently born language, but not true. Python born, I believe it's probably 1989, I believe. Similar something, and Java comes on the market in 1996. So But it's nowadays, because of the AI and machine learning, deep learning, all those things, the Python is now it's getting very famous. So you can choose the Python too, either Java, Python, or any other language you feel comfortable. Okay, choose one of the language you feel comfortable and learn this language. If from basic to core stuffs. When I say basics, like the how to declare variable, the data types, variable data types, objects, classes, right? Different loops like for loop, while loop, do while loop, how those loops works, what's the concept behind it. Do some practice with this using these loops, some logical condition like if else, all those things. Okay, if you learn Java, it's in terms of Java, there is a Java is an object oriented programming language. So what's the significance of the object of oriented programming? What's the features of the OOPs, like an encapsulation, polymorphism, all those things, so overloading, overriding, all those things, learn in details. Okay, because those things will make you strong, give you extra benefit. Okay, and there is no escape that without a language, without learning a language, you can be an automation language. But it's not difficult. Trust me, it's not a rocket science that you can't do this. It is possible, and I have a lot of students from different backgrounds, like HR, from business or marketing. They switch their career, they move to automation. Even the QA manual QA guy with the 5-10 years experience, they're out of market because they don't have the automation experience, but they easily understand and grab one of the language, like they understood the Java very well. So it's not difficult. All you need to some dedication and some extra effort that you can do it, and do some practice based on each and every topic. So when you learn the programming, okay, do some resolve some problems, like find out the minimum value in an array, do reverse a string word, do solve the palindrome, no problem. So that's this kind of issue, some practice. There's lots of practice available in YouTube online resources. You can check on, based on the programming language, you will find lots of the practice. For specifically for automation, I have some number of problems that most of the times they ask and during the interview when you go for as an automation engineer. I will if I get a chance, or next time, I will make another video and I will share with you guys. Okay, and then pick the right tool, right automation tool. In terms of in our market, in the industry, there is quite a few number of tools available for automation, for doing the automation. Example: HP QTP, Selenium API, Catalan, some other the tools too. So like HP QTP, it's been a long time in the market, but it's almost out of the market because it's a very expensive tools. Every company or small firm, the company, they can't afford it. So that's why Selenium is very popular nowadays. It's an open source API, and it works with any language, across all the languages it's supported. So I would prefer, or I would say advise you, go for Selenium. Okay, Selenium API based on your Java or whatever the language you learn, Python. Say example, go for Selenium API with the Java language, and learn its GUI first. Okay, how to automate the user interface, the web, the actual website or application first, as a user point of view. Don't think too much or to learn all together, like web services, API, or mobile automation. Don't go all together. You will be lost then. Okay. I know if you search any job, you will see in the job details they ask a lot of things besides Selenium, API that you need to experience web services or API testing, mobile automation, other stuffs. But don't worry, don't go all of them together. Just go one by one. First, learn the Selenium very well based on any language. Then you will see your next step would be much more easier, whether you go for the web services API or mobile automation. Okay. Then next, we'll learn how to configure or set up Selenium from scratch. This is very important part. This would be your first step when you're going to learn the Selenium. Even though when you join a company, maybe it's Selenium's already configured, you will have the clone of the Selenium, the configuration. You will need to design and develop the Selenium, but it's good to know how to configure and set up. It will boost up your confidence. It will give you the architectural idea about the framework. Okay, so it's better to learn from the scratch how to set up, how to configure your Selenium, how to build from the scratch. Then next is know internal architecture or mechanism about Selenium. Like inside of Selenium some internal mechanism like WebDriver. So that's the main things. WebDriver interface, how the WebDriver interface works or talk with the internal driver, the physical driver you download in a machine, and it works with each other, how it read the HTML code, all those things. So get to know a little bit in details about the mechanism of the Selenium. Then is next how to handle the common or core features that's available by Selenium. Okay, just get to know. You have to know more details about this, like different like Selenium comes with a lot of free library classes, functions. So, example, action classes, selector classes, select class, WebDriver interface. So how to use, when to use all those classes. Some different common scenarios. So how we can handle, like example, frame, multi-window, pop-up window. Typing on a field like username, password, how to test the links, how to test a different type of drop down, like a static drop down or dynamic drop down. So all those things you have to know very well, and how we can handle, how we can do the coding and automation. Okay, next is learn framework technology. In Selenium you will use some other technologies that will help you to build a robust framework, like TestNG. TestNG is very, very helpful unit framework tools that it will make it will really build your framework such a way that it will bring lots of benefit, lots of features, lots of boost up. It will give you the really you change your framework behavior. Extend report, TestNG extend report, that's external report. So how we can create external extend report. And then a Maven. Maven is a build project management tool that will help you to control, manage your projects across the team. So learn all those technologies very well, a little bit in details. Okay, and learn framework approach. So when you design your framework, so you have to apply one of the approach or multiple approach, like data driven approach, keyword driven approach. Nowadays page object model or page object pattern, it's very, very famous. So you have to all those the framework approaches very well, so that in your workplace, whatever the approach they use, you can easily pick up. Or if you need to start or develop any automation tool or framework, you can do by your own. Okay, then learn how to debug the code. Then after you know very well the coding, you know the language, you know the framework, then put your focus how to learn to debug the code. It's a part of your learning or expertise about your code, because your code won't be 100% right. So there will be some issues or some syntax errors. So the quicker you can find out your code by debugging, it's gonna be easier in your life. So get to used to how to debug your code, how to read the log, when you have issue and your code has some error, read the log and try to and do some behavior or practice so that you can understand the issue just reading the log. Okay, then get to used to have a good practice with accessing some online resources. Online resources like okay, so there is a lots of online resources available, like Stack Overflow. It's a very good online resource. When you have any issue, just Google it and you will see there's a tons of people have similar issues, and a lot of experienced people, they already reply the give the solution in a Stack Overflow. There's a lot of Facebook group available. You can try to be engaged with them, if you face any problem, or see the response, as well as the LinkedIn group. So first, try by yourself. If you say you are not able to find out the solution for your issue, just search on Google and follow any one of the online resources available. Okay, then learn Git repository. Git is a repository tool. So when you write your code, you have to after you finalize your code and your whole team finalizes their code, they have to store that code somewhere. That's a web services, it's a storing place. That's a Git. It's a one kind of very famous tools, right? Git or GitHub. There's a Git bucket in the market. It's a similar idea. So Git is a distributed version control system for tracking changes in source code during software development. Okay, so get to learn a little bit about the more about the Git, how the Git works, all of the command related, how you when you're going to use the Git, you have to know all those commands. So if you go to our site, if you go a little bit down, and if you see there is a important, under the important notes, there is a Git and GitHubs. So if you click on there, just read this blog, this articles about what is Git, how it works, all of the command related with the Git, and as well as if you search on online, you will find a video with related to the Git, Git or GitHub, how to use this, with a live the project. Okay, just know it about it. And then learn CI or CD tools. CI or CD, it means continuous integration and continuous delivery tools. Nowadays, if you follow the agile methodologies, okay, if you follow the agile methodology, enterprises are making their move towards the DevOps methodologies and agile culture to accelerate the delivery speed and ensure product quality. In DevOps, a continuous and automated delivery cycle is the backbone that makes fast and reliable delivery possible. So CI, as a result, in the need of proper continuous integration and continuous delivery, they use some of the tools in the market available, like Jenkins. Jenkins is an open source CI/CD tools. So like Bamboo, it's a commercial, you have to pay. There's a GitLab, you have to pay also. So learn, I would say, just go for Jenkins. Okay, there's an online tutorials again, how to use Jenkins, how to open an account, how you can configure the Jenkins, how we can connect your source code like with the Git to Jenkins, how to create a job, and then how we can build your test cases, all of the script, through the Jenkins. It's amazing and very nice tools. It's really, so it's just a matter of to know. It's not too hard. Is not very. It's very simple. It's not complex tools, and you don't have to know the different language to learn the Jenkins. It's just the tools. You have to know how to use it. Okay, how to configure it. Okay, those things. Again, you can search on online. You'll find some tutorial, some videos related to Jenkins. I would say, if you already have experience like programming experience or some related working experience, you can find online some tutorials like end-to-end course. But if you are fresher, like fresh graduate, or you are from different background, probably you can find some one-to-one guide, somebody some expert from the industry, who can help you, who can have a the package, all of the program, end-to-end program, have a package ready, who can guide you from the beginning to end, so that you don't have to worry like I'm on the right path or I'm the wrong path, or what else I need to learn, am I missing any things. It's that case, that someone individual expert will be appropriate. But if you have a little bit of idea, you have a a little bit of programming knowledge, and you probably know about the industry, where is industry moving on, then there's a tons of resource in online, that you can pick any one of them you find comfortable, you feel comfortable, and just follow it. Okay, pretty much that's it. I hope you get all the answers related about to be an automation engineer. Okay, if you have still any question, concern, please comments, do the comments right below, and I will respond to you. Okay, thank you so much for watching the video, and you have a good one.